This is Si here on TBFM, and I'm sat here with Hréowsian and Árfæst, but I'm going to let you guys say those names again, just so I'm not making a fool of myself.
It's Hréowsian.
Árfæst.
Okay, guys, Wodensthrone, you're playing at Damnation today. What does that feel like?
It's great on to be here. It's a real gathering place for some great bands from the UK and overseas. It's great to catch up with everyone again, because obviously we've just recently done a tour with Forest of Stars, and it's really good to be in their hometown, so we can meet up with those guys again, catch up with some old friends.
Yes, we have a lot of friends around here, and it's just kind of really a really lovely, friendly vibe. It's kind of really welcoming place to come and put on a show, so it's really inspires us to kind of put our best foot forward. Try and make the best impression we can.
Seems like a really friendly vibe here. It's actually my first time here, so I'm a bit of a Damnation virgin at the moment, and I'm scooting around. I haven't actually managed to watch anyone yet. Have you managed to see anyone? Have you just been?
Same thing. We've been getting lost in the labyrinth and tunnels of this university complex. It's like the loop road in Leeds as well. Once you're in, you're never getting out. It's a bit crazy.
Without paying or something?
Well, without hoping that some deity takes mercy on you, I think.
Okay, so you were speaking earlier about Curse and how it's a conceptual record, and so how does that work with your writing? Do you write it down on paper first and say this is the story we're gonna portray, or is it you kind of do it as you're going along, track by track?
In practice, kind of both methods apply. We did come up with a written plan where we talked about particular key themes that might kind of identify themselves with particular leitmotifs and so forth, and kind of the narrative progression of the album and how that would be represented by different kind of musical characteristics. And then we tried our best to kind of write along to the guidelines we'd created, but it never entirely works out that way. So the concept kind of evolved and kind of crystallised as the music developed. It kind of all the detail filled out, and
yeah, definitely. I think one of the things that we've always thought very important about Wodensthrone is that our songwriting is very organic. We all go in, we all bring elements to the table, and we're really getting used to playing together as a band. And the lineup we've got at the moment, the clan is set now. This is our lineup, the best lineup we've had, and no disrespect to any past members, of course, we have the utmost respect to everyone, but we really feel like we're just working together as a unit, a really strong unit, and that's why the songwriting was so easy for the new album, I think.
Yeah, but I mean the key balance we had to strike was that we wanted to do something that that was really detailed and nuanced and had a lot of depth and different layers to it, which were planned and kind of mapped out, but we didn't want to kill the spontaneity. Because the core of the band it's just very much about a stream of consciousness process. We kind of try as much as possible to be in the musical moment whenever we're writing, and we try to take as collectivist an approach to writing as we can.
It's definitely not a one man is in charge and he's telling everyone what to do, and this is what you do and this is what you do, and I'm the boss.
Little areas that we rule over.
Do you have a boss though, or someone who likes to think that they're the boss?
I'd say I occasionally do. No, we're pretty democratic about everything. It's a collective, we're a clan, we do everything together, and I think a lot of the decision making happens collectively as well, which is a real nice feature, and again that comes back to us feeling really comfortable as a unit now.
We've got a nice mixture of skills and approaches that kind of that complement each other, so everything tends to work fairly smoothly. I mean, I think if we really get stymied in it on a particular issue, and there's a debate that we've kind of really divided it on, sometimes one or two people do have to kind of step in to try and to mediate, but that's not it's not precisely a decision-making role, but it's just kind of facilitates coming up with something that every member of the band is happy with, or as happy as we can be. So.
And I think that's one of the things. The only time we ever reach any sort of contention is because of our passion for the music we make, because we'll all feel so passionately about it that obviously occasionally we end up a little heated, but I think that's natural. It's part of being human, isn't it?
And you say, no, you can do that in your side project.
Yeah. Well, we have plenty of those.
Well, that's the style, isn't it? So you guys are from the northeast. what do you think of the scene around there at the moment, and then venturing out to the rest of the UK?
Well, the scene in the northeast's a bit of a hit and miss affair a lot of the time. There's not a great deal happening, but we do at the moment have some excellent shows coming on. Bro UK have started putting on some really good shows up there, so we've got Au Revoir coming up for a one-off other UK show tomorrow after Damnation. But the whole UK scene at the moment, I think the one thing that unites the UK scene is its disparateness, the disparate nature. They're all so different. We don't have a British sound, and I think that's what is uniting, because you've got bands like A Forest of Stars, Fen, Winterfleeth, us. It's so different.
Yeah, everyone's coming out in isolation and developing this kind of quite idiosyncratic little pockets, and so it's difficult to say that we have any sort of unified scene in this country, I think, but I think that's I'd say that's definitely a strength. It's like people come with a lot more, much more kind of distinctive and instantly recognisable music.
Yeah,
I think.
So I was just speaking to Chris from Winterfleeth, and he said kind of the same thing. You know, it's like there is this desperateness within the black metal scene, but then it's like a brotherhood as well, I guess. You kind of linking together, and you go and help each other, and you know, play shows with each other and promote each other and things like that. You know, what have you got? What's the big plans? I want to know what is the big plans for Wodensthrone 2013?
Europe. We've got to get over and play Europe. We've tragically, various circumstances in the past have conspired that we've never been over there. We this year, just last week actually, went to Ireland for the first time, played the Siege of Limerick, which was an excellent show, really, really good event. And we played Rites of Darkness last year now, with the Rites of Darkness 3. So that was great to go over to the US and play shows there, but we still haven't been into Europe, which we love dearly, and so that's definitely the plan. We're trying to get something together, possibly with our friends in Dordida, see if we can play with them. That'd be awesome.
What about the more northern European states? You know, like up in, are you gonna try and go to Norway and Sweden, or are you gonna focus more on Middle Europe?
We look at Europe as a whole. I mean, obviously with our sort of historical viewpoints, we look back to when mainland and northern Europe was very much one of a kind. Although you had different kingdoms and divisions within that, we all come from a similar root, and we feel very at home in Europe. So, I mean, whether we're talking about Scandinavia or sort of even Eastern Europe, or the sort of more conventional sort of Belgium, Central Europe, and like France and the like, we just want to get out and play, because it's somewhere we would love to go and obviously take our music over with us.
Okay, great. And it's one of the wonderful things about Europe is it's how diverse it is, and the kind of rich, kind of different cultural experiences you can have. So it's a great place to go to tour, where you can experience a lot of different kinds of culture and different ways of life, and just kind of really develop more experience. Because I think with Wodensthrone, our kind of creative process is very experiential. We're trying when we're writing, we're trying to have a real sense of kind of our position in the world, not in any kind of national sense, but in a kind of constantly shifting flux of different kind of cultures and viewpoints, and it's and the best way to kind of generate the energy for that is to just go out and experience different things.
So you guys focus a lot on is it particularly British heritage, or just like you were saying, European heritage and things like that? What would, if you could describe 3 words to say what is Wodensthrone about? If someone like this is given you the opportunity, 3 words, what would they be?
3 words. That's limiting.
Spirituality would be one of them.
Yeah, definitely. I think we try and view ourselves as less looking back at our national heritage or looking back at anything like that, where we're looking back at a cultural heritage. There was a European culture, which Britain is obviously a part of. We had obviously the old Celts and tribes that lived in England historically, in Albion. You've then got the European settlers who came over, the Anglo-Saxons, Jutes, all the various sort of Germanic tribes. We have so much in common with that, and we try and put ourselves as... We try and write from an Anglo-Saxon sort of pagan perspective, viewing the world around us, but we really talk about more our spiritual, the human nature
but the way that we use that Anglo-Saxon position, it's not a nature of equality judgment. It's not saying this was the best thing that was around or this was better than any other culture. It's just a position where we need to kind of anchor ourselves somewhere to be able to say anything really. So yeah, it's kind of, but I mean by utilising these particular kind of cultural strands, it all kind of highlights diversity in other areas. It's all kind of this massive kind of multifaceted chiaroscuro web of culture, and it's I mean you need to have a point of a map there on the map to be able to relate to everything else, but it's I mean with Curse we tried to kind of really step outside of the kind of national framework that we've kind of been dropped in really in the past, so bringing in a lot of different kind of musical themes, like the opening part of Battle Lines concentrates on Native American instrumentation, and so we were trying to kind of develop different themes from all over the world. I brought in with some of the lyrical materials I did. I was kind of quite inspired by like the spiritual situation in Tibet, and just really tried to come up with something that was more kind of global, and in order to highlight kind of universal ideas and themes that kind of transcend any one particular culture, and have applications to everybody. So yeah, that's my 3 words.
Yeah, 3 words of universal human spirituality.
Yeah, there we go.
That's awesome. It's a bit more of a benevolent kind of feeling than a lot of kind of black metal bands, say, you know, someone like Gorgoroth or someone who are saying, you know, hatred is the kind of the natural state of man kind of thing. And
I think as part of understanding the human condition is understanding the darkness that is a primordial, primeval force that has existed long before humans. It's a universal aspect. It's constant.
You know, I think it's the nature of pagan bands to deal with balances, and especially I think the kind of artistic and aesthetic culture, particularly in this country, is that I think that let's say whatever kind of stripe of art it is, kind of music or art or film or literature or whatever, the things that intrigue us most are the shades of grey, the ambiguities, the conflicts, the contradictions, and we kind of when we have a character in a film or a book who is conflicted, and then we kind of ascribe additional value to that as showing more depth and reality. And I think we're kind of products of that kind of artistic culture, in that the last thing we want to do is provide anything in black and white. We kind of want to explore issues and raise questions and provoke thought rather than prescribe thought.
Yeah, exactly. This is Wodensthrone on TBFM online at Damnation Festival.